but it at least brings the department up to average salaries with comparable cities. So I think that's important just for us to keep up, just to stay competitive. As we've heard, we don't want to train our officers here in the Houston Police Department simply for them to leave after we've invested the upfront training, for them to go to other cities that will compensate them much better. Even if we did nothing today and we kept the status quo and just maintained the current salary structure, we risk losing these officers. And if you understand the attrition rate that averages anywhere around 200 officers per year, then we have a serious problem, because this city, as it continues to grow, is not going to be able to keep up the response to our citizens. So we want to maintain public safety. That's very important, because attrition is a real serious fact. And so raising up those entry-level salaries, which were negotiated to also lower some of those incentives that they were previously given, I think, again, it makes it a fair proposal in that regard. Also, embedding in there some safeguards, so those college dollars that are invested into those officers, if they leave within 3 years, they have to reimburse the city back. So that's a good safeguard there to make sure that our citizens are benefiting from that investment in those officers. And so I think that's all very important. Also, I'm glad and encouraged to see the increased weight on the assessment centers for promotions. I think that's important for a lot of us around council to make sure we continue to see not only a diverse police department, but a diverse command staff, not only now, but going into the future. And so, again, I think there's a lot of positive factors in this. It's not, again, the Cadillac plan by any means, but it's fair. It gives us predictability. It was already baked into a 5-year plan, so we were anticipating some of this investment. And if we want a top-notch, modern, contemporary police department, we've got to make the investment. We're making that investment in our police officers just as much as they're committed to our citizens. So I look forward to being a guest with this.
Councilmember Boykins.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to thank Marta for clearing the board, because I was at 4 now too. So thank you so much for that. Let me just echo what Sergeant Ed Gonzalez. I want to echo his comments. I said it last week and I say it again. I think public safety is one of the top issues we have to deal with, and I don't politic with public safety. Again, I think it was about 18 years ago, I did an assessment on the top 3 cities, city attorney in terms of pay and population, and that was 18 years ago, and today we're still facing the same miserable pay scale for our police officers. And when you compare them to Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas, and I didn't include Fort Worth, we should be embarrassed. And that's why I commend the mayor, the controller's office, and the city's finance department for coming up, and the union for coming up with a way that made it fair. And there are opportunities in the contract. I sort of, and I'm gonna get with Kelly Dowd, got a clear picture of how it will be paid for. For those who've not had the chance to look at the contract, there's some ways. I mean, there was some parts of the contract that will speak towards how this stuff will be paid for. I just don't think it's healthy. One thing I do want to say, Mayor, yesterday I was down at the rodeo office, and I'm not going to call out the person's name, but it's someone who I consider to be she's a senior citizen, very well versed on community issues, who has said to me, she's a Republican, she made it clear, that will be open to the idea of a study of paying a fee for public safety that can't be touched, similar to Rebuild Houston, touched by anybody. And I think one day we need to look at that for public safety, to where we can generate money like we're doing in this 2310 account for Rebuild Houston for public safety that will address pension, pay raises, and no administration can touch that money, and just make it police and fire, and consider ways to make it safe, put a safety net for them. And every year we come up, trying to find ways to cut and negotiate, and they have to determine whether they got an academy, where in our neighborhoods we're having crime. I just think we need I would love to see 2 police officers per vehicle throughout the city of Houston. That's what I want to see. And how we get there, with adequate pay for each one, I don't know. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna look at what other cities are doing and see if we can come up with a way to structure some type of revenue for police and fire like we have for Rebuild Houston, these streets. And I guarantee you we can get a yes from voters on this. It may not be a 100%, but I guarantee if they know we can't touch that money and it's for police and fire, we'll get a yes vote. So I'm considering taking on that challenge, Mayor.